Go back. I'm about to take y'all through a beautiful backdrop. Like, I'm gonna go through here and play this, and then that's not all. I got something to read to y'all. All right. So, the book of Kailedy. This is chapter chapter 4. Oh, that's a cute dog. Oh my goodness, I had a dog just like that. It's a lovely place. Alright, so check it out. This is the book of Kailedy, chapter 4. Living in the Sea of Galilee. Behind them, Jesus took the disciples up to the mountains and over, and others went also. Here there was a house providing warmth and shelter, so they waited a while, being time for preparation and sewing. Y'all having fun. It's a good day for a swim. Check this out. It's so cool. Hey, give me a second. I'm gonna get back to reading. There's too many distractions going on. I don't want to fall in the water. All right, check it out. All right. So one cold night, Jesus went out from the room where they sat at food to relieve a man guarding the donkeys, so he might come in and warm himself. Later, when the man returned to his charges, he found Jesus was shivering cold. He put his cloak around a foal, and a foal, I believe, is like a baby animal, like a sheep, I think, or a goat, I'm not sure. I think it's a sheep. I might be wrong. The man said, "Adonai, why are you doing this? But seeing you have done it, why does not our father provide a mantle for his son?" Right, so this guy kind of perceives that Jesus is the Son of God, right? And Jesus said, "The little one is helpless in our hands." Yeah, I had to show you that. The little one, the little baby foal is helpless, right? But we are not helpless in our Father's hands. The foal has no choice but to remain in the stall. Well, I can choose to go or stay. I can choose to keep my covering or give it to another. And if God voided the effects of our good deeds, what merit would they have? Facts. Let me play that back. I like that instrumental. It's really good. All right. So there's that. The man said, "I will pray God to make me good, even as you." But Jesus said, "Pray that your deeds merit the reward of goodness." Yes. And that's something I need to realize is I've done good deeds, but some of them didn't end up so great, you know? Like, I've shown people compassion, but when you show the wrong people compassion, it can end up really bad for you. Anyway, another night, a journeyman came seeking shelter and warmth, and he was given hospitality. He said to those who made him welcome, "You are blessed indeed to live here in warmth and in comfort, while I have to ride on the inhospitable roads for my master." Okay, so little salty, right? He's complaining. The following morning, having been well provided with sustenance for the road, he said to Jesus, here he departed, "Adonai," that means master, by the way, or Lord, "I listened well to your words last night, since I'm a poor man and I'm suffering a lot of hardships. My life is difficult. Am I then assured of a better condition in the next life to come?" Well, Jesus did speak a lot about the next life, right? Oh, how are you? I'm doing good. Thank you so much. It's a tough journey. It's a narrow path, like, and then you get into this stupid fork in the road, and you're like, do I go left or do I go right? Well, guess what? I'm going right, as I follow the right way. Get it? All right. Okay, so this guy's like, oh, my life is so hard. Jesus, does that mean my next life is going to be better? And here's the funny thing. Here's what he said, okay? So the next morning, Jesus said, this is his answer. By what standards do you think these things are judged? If we use your standards here, the pack horse, right? The horse that's carrying you would be more entitled to a better life because you are eating soup and you're sleeping in comfort and warmth at the inn. And this beast who doesn't even complain has a lot harder work than you. And he's remaining in the cold. So like by that standard of judgment, this dude's like not going to have a better life than that horse that carried him. You know what I mean? And he's right. That pack horse, and he neglected that horse. He didn't give that horse any warmth, right? And Jesus is showing how much of a hypocrite this guy is, because Jesus took his coat off just to warm a little baby animal, right? And that man didn't do that for his horse, whose horse carried him miles every day. So this is the wisdom. Like, Christ is incredible. Like, he's way wiser than Solomon, and this book just continues to prove that and drive that point home. He sees everything, even the things many people will overlook. And a lot of the times it's ignorance, it's hardness of the heart is the issue. All right, so towards the end of their stay, a wise man came to eat with them, and knowing all the books of wisdom and the Torah, while talking with the disciples, he said, "Because of my knowledge, I'm a man of no mean position. Many men are quiet when I speak on weighty matters." And Jesus heard this and he said, "Don't take credit concerning your knowledge, Mr. Guru, Mr. Come to me and I'll make you rich and I'll teach you how to get all the women, and Mr. Oh my goodness, how many people these days are the guru guys that are like, they'll tell, it's mostly dudes, or there's women who do stuff like that too. But what I'm saying is, they take all the credit for their knowledge and they lead you astray because they pretend like they know it all. And they have their degrees, they have their certificates, which they may or may not have paid for or cheated to get. And then they act like they take all the credit. But here's what Jesus says. Take no credit concerning your knowledge. Compare yourself to a borrower who has a debt to repay. Does the borrower receive credit for paying back what he's borrowed? No. So take no credit for the wisdom that you share. And as for to the acquisition of knowledge, isn't this the point of why you were created? Because it is. You didn't know. And when this man left, Jesus said to his followers, the books of wisdom should be the treasure of all men. They contain the explanations and the instructions of God. Right? And here's the crazy part, because we have a generation full of complainers, right? Everyone's a complainer. Everyone's got something to complain about, whether they're homeless or they're rich, you know? The rich people are depressed. The homeless people are oppressed. Anyway, here's what he says. When people complain, saying, woe is me, I am smitten with calamity. Why does God let disaster strike me in this manner? Why is my lot in life unlike that of others? Everyone has a car but me. Everyone has a house but me. Everyone has a wife but me. Listen. Why? They ask why. But here's the problem. They have not unlocked the door of their treasure house. By reading the books of wisdom, you will be brought to an understanding of the nature and the intention of God. Life will then have a meaning and purpose. And he's going to tell you how to actually ask these questions the right way, right? Because he's not going to leave you without the right thing to do, which is something I love about Jesus. He's not just going to tell you what not to do. He'll tell you what you're supposed to do, because it's a sin to do what you're not supposed to do, but it's also a sin to avoid the things you should do. That's a fact. Okay? Without the books of wisdom, you're like a man at the sea, in the ocean, without a sail, without oars. Okay? But if you read them, but you don't understand them, which is where most people are if they do read the scriptures, because we don't have them all. We don't have all of the Holy Scriptures. They were removed. The words of Jesus Christ have been diluted, polluted, twisted by wicked men and dumb men and confused men, which I was the third one. But yeah, I've also been the first one too. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't doing the best 3-4 years ago. I wasn't a righteous man. But reading and understanding the Bible and the Holy Scriptures, right? And the Apocrypha, which has been under attack for a long time. The Apocrypha used to be the Bible too. It's just that certain people have agendas to make other people stupid. Okay, so being reading the holy books but not understanding them, not having guidance, is like being at the sea, being in the ocean. You have a sail and you have oars, but you don't know how to use them. Well, that's not good either, right? That's not good either. Having a knife to defend yourself when you're getting jumped but not knowing how to use it, not knowing how to get it out of the sheath, you're still screwed. Okay? Having a gun and not knowing how to take the safety off, you're still screwed, right? Come on. Anyone can understand that. Jesus said, if you knew a distinguished guest was coming, would you not make fitting preparations, doing all the things to ensure he has an appropriate welcome? And if a man has many servants, does he get his own grain? No, his servants do, right? The road indicated by John the Baptist is not my road, but it leads to the same destination. I bring you the way of the stake, which is the way of life, right? He's talking about carrying the cross. Follow what I teach, and you will be with me at the very end. Choose your path, for no man can plow 2 furrows, neither can the hands of 2 men hold the reins. While Jesus was still in the mountains preparing his disciples for the task to come, there were 2 wandering musicians. I love this. This is so good. So there's 2 musicians, right? And he meets these 2 musicians. And one was always laughing, and the other one was always depressed. So one was always laughing, and the other was always depressed. And Jesus said to them, many men have different skills, and are you not skilled with your instruments? And they said, yes, we are. And Jesus said, now, when the strings of your instruments are too tight, what happens? And they said, there is discord, right? They don't sound right. They're out of tune, right? And then when Jesus said, is it not even so if the strings are too slack, too loose? And they said, yeah, it's the same way. If our instruments are too tight or too loose, they won't sound right. And here's where Jesus drops the banger and says, sometimes the natures of men need slackening. They're too tight. They're too uptight, right? Some people are too uptight, like a drill sergeant. And then there's others where they're too slack. Yeah, man, I'll do it tomorrow, man. It's going to be fine, man. And then they just laugh, and then they're freaking, before you know it, they get fired, and then they lose their house, because they didn't pay the bills. Like that's not good either, So be like your instruments, always tuned to the right note, and let there be Oh, I love this. Let there be harmony. Let there be harmony between you. One of the disciples said to Jesus, Lord, you tell us so many things and I can't retain everything you're saying. Surely some of your words are better than others. So which of your words should I put in my heart? And here's the funny thing. Jesus said a sovereign has two castles, right? He had two castles, and one on each end of the wall of his kingdom. So he gave one to each of his two sons, and then word came that an enemy was coming to fight them. So he told his sons, get everything you can and store it. Get all the weaponry you can. And one son collected everything he could, but the other only took what he considered was the best. So he would leave everything else. The enemy came. Both of the castles were besieged. And the castle of the son who only took what he thought was best, guess what? He got wrecked. He got destroyed. His castle got wrecked. But the one who took everything that he could, he was okay, and they survived. His people survived. And that's how it is with the words of Jesus Christ, okay? Even those which may seem of least value may one day prove their worth. That day is today, my friends. That day is definitely today. If you're really seeking to follow him, if you really want to follow Jesus Christ, you really want to know, well, there's more documentation about him than any other person who ever lived. The people who said he wasn't even real are the dumbest people, because there is more documentation of him than any other man. But what's also interesting is we are given a Bible and told there's only 4 books about Jesus in the gospel that document his life, when that is not true. There are many documentations of his life, and this is the best I've found and seen, and it reigns true. It's the wisdom that Satan doesn't want us to have, so I'm sharing it. And I don't care who tries to speak against this. I don't care who you are, what you think, what you say. His word is going to stand. Okay. Now here we go. So, like I said, he has words that were removed, taken away, twisted. Other people take credit for his words as well. You'll see that too. You're going to find sayings in here like 2 wrongs don't make a right. Guess what? Yeah, that came from Jesus, bro. That didn't come from someone else. Okay. Turning to the others, he said, this man... Oh, wait, hold on. So like he said, even with his words, the ones that don't seem useful will one day prove their worth. Tell us where we find God. Where do we find the truth? One of his disciples asked him. And Jesus said, you have the holy books and my words. And what has the devil done? Removed holy books, silenced, muted his words, changed his words, polluted his words, distorted his words. They're sorcerers. That's what they do. Sorcerers will try to distort reality, and Jesus is the truth. So it makes sense, right? They don't want us to know what Jesus actually meant and what he actually said. But this is a great book because it gives you context. We need context. This book was written so long ago, man. We need context when it comes to these things. We don't know how the Hebrews lived that long ago, but we can learn by studying. Turning to the others, he said, this man is like a beggar, okay? He stood all of his life under a fig tree. And more than anything else, he wanted to be rich. He remained always poor and dressed in rags like everyone. Eventually he dies, and then he was buried right at the place where he spent his entire life. And that's pretty crazy. Okay. And when the earth under the tree was dug up to bury him, it exposed a treasure of great price, gold and jewels, right under the spot where he had been standing and begging. How easy would it have been for this man to be rich? That's funny. Dude, I couldn't think of a better diss than that. I mean, honestly. A dude standing and begging his whole life when he's standing on top of a treasure, and he never thought to dig under his feet, and there was a treasure right there. That's crazy. One of those to whom Jesus spoke said, oh, so all we have to do is read and listen, assimilating the knowledge gained. That's how I used to think too. I was like, oh, so if I just learn and study everything, then I'll be fine. But that's not true, okay? Jesus said there is danger even in this. Consider a snake catcher, right? Going among the rocks, and he sees a snake that's worth catching. It's worth a lot of money. But in his haste, he grabs the snake by the tail, instead of the head. And the snake turns and bites him, and then he dies. Okay, here's a good question. Did he die because of his calling? Or did he die because he grabbed the snake wrong? Obviously because of his approach, right? Was he not wrong in his approach? Rather than in what he did, it is even so with those who know the holy books and handle them wrongly. So you can know everything there is to know. You can know every single word and still get it wrong. And that's very true. Be humble in your knowledge. Do not be puffed up, Jesus says. Beware the snare of false humility. What is false humility? One of them asked, one of his disciples. Lord, what is false humility? Okay, this is a joke. Like, this is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And it's from Jesus. Okay, so here's the story. A man was once told that if he could learn humility, he would become perfect, desiring perfection in himself above everything else. He diligently studied everything relating to being humble. And then there was nothing he didn't know about it. However, one day a man said to him, he asked him earnestly, like, so what does your humility gain for you, you know? What does your humility get for you? And what did you get from it? You know, where did you benefit from this? To which the supposedly humble man says, stupid one, you idiot, you fool, you absolute nitwit. What is the matter with you? For can't you see that having learned humility, I am now perfect? I am a perfect man. Ha ha. Do you not understand? Do you not understand? Like, and this is the perfect picture of those Pharisees, those entitled people, those self-deceiving hypocrites. This is the best example you get, like right here, that the pompous ones. About this time, Jesus came upon two disciples, and they argued about, again, they're arguing about his teachings, right? What should be kept in their hearts. And Jesus already told them, all of them are important. And here's what Jesus says. Your argument can be likened to two wives, an old one and a young one. The old one kept pulling the dark hairs on her husband's head, and the young one kept pulling the wet hairs. So he became bald, having no hair at all. And then both of the women said, look, we have a bald-headed husband. Yeah, so I'm going to stop right there. I'll read the rest of this later. But like, dude, this is just so much wisdom. I'm going to split this chapter in half because I got it's like 50 verses. So I read about half of the verses, and I'm going to stop because I need to get home. But yeah, stay prayed up, you know, test the words that I've shared with you. Jesus will light the path. He is the light. One thing he said that stuck with me is, tonight is a dark night of ignorance, but I am the light. I am the guiding light. Like before the sun shone, there was darkness, and then the sun lights the path, and then the morning comes and you're able to see. So that's who Jesus kind of is, you know. We have the Torah, we have the law of Moses, but people twisted it to their own advantage, and they still do. Even with Christ's words, unfortunately, people distort them. And now that I've found books like this where there's clarity, there's understanding, and there's peace, like I can finally live out the way I want to live. Like it is a narrow path. There's going to be hardship. You know, if you don't want hardships, if you don't want to live a life of struggle, if you don't want to live a life of repentance, denying yourself of pleasure, it's not the way for you, man. I mean, that's just how I see it. Because the way it is just I seek these things in the world. Like I try to go back to them, and they lose their savor. Like I wanted to try things again. Like I wanted to go back in and try smoking weed again, try drinking again. It just don't hit the same anymore. I end up disappointed. I end up hurt. I'm just like, wow, this world really has nothing to offer. It's all vanity of vanities. You can go watch the last video, the last live. Vanity of vanities. That's the truth. Like if you're seeking pleasure in this world, I mean, you'll find it maybe for a night or two, and then you might end up an addict, or you might end up really depressed, or just realizing like, man, there's no pleasure in these things. The only true source of joy is the Holy Spirit, man. That's it. There's no other joy. Like everything else is just fleeting. You might be happy for a day or 2 days, or as long as you're high, but eventually the high goes away, bro. And it doesn't. But there's a drunkenness that doesn't go away, and that's the Holy Spirit, bro. It's better than any drug you could ever find, anything they could ever manufacture in this world. It's better. It's better. We can't manufacture this, but like, look, the trees, the sky, the sun, we can't manufacture this, bro. The closest we get is CGI, video games, but that's not the real deal. You know how they say, go touch some grass? Yeah, touch some grass. I did it. All right, peace. Oh boy.